simple once you've learnt one.
Oh yeah,
So once you've got one down, like it's so quick to read the others. I mean, I know Avatar's quite it's a lot thicker of a book in terms of the content because it's got loads of stuff on lore and the locations and things.
for sure.
But essentially, it's the same system. Um, so it makes you can almost skip whole sections if you want to run a quick session.
You could, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just on the loading screen. I am so excited for the stream tonight. Did you tweet it out?
I have.
Yay!
Yeah, I tweeted it all day.
Yay!
Well, yesterday and today. And just now.
Oh, I like
You passed 300 followers. When did that? When did that happen?
Past how many?
300.
Oh, on Twitch?
Twitch.
Oh,
Yeah, did you know that?
No, I didn't. Oh, what?
Yeah, 300. I think got 308 followers or.
Oh my
something.
gosh. That's so
Yeah, I
cool.
know.
I'll have to
Pretty
give a
epic.
nice big thank you to our peeps in the audience tonight
Yeah,
then.
for sure.
Hot damn. That's amazing. It must have been from Scribbler Hug. It had to have been.
Yeah, Scribble Hug was great.
Must be. That was so much
Big
fun.
success. Yeah.
Now that things are getting in, like the new year is in full swing, I need to talk to our friends about the next Scribbler Hug event. I'd like that to be a regular thing. Like, maybe twice a year. Oh my goodness. Someone just subscribbled.
28 years.
Months.
Years.
It's
28
been
years.
years.
Since before the internet.
Where were we 28 years ago?
Oh man, that's something, isn't it? Oh, 20 for
I was
university.
4 years old. I was this many.
I was a lot more.
Just a little bit. All
16.
right.
Oh.
16, nice. All right, I think we can go ahead and hop over, huh? Yeah, is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good? Cool. 3, a 2, a 1. Woo! Hello, Scribblers! Hey! Isn't this the first stream of the new year?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's for me, that's for sure.
Muppet Arms! I think it is for me too. Hello, everyone. Hello, Almost Bedtime Theater. How are you? And yes, thank you for that lovely, fresh and shiny subscribble. Hatchling, DM, wherever you are out there. Thank you, friend, for your continued support. Somewhere over the rainbow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our first stream of the new year. I had intended to stream before this, but then I got to start off the new year with a lovely cold, and I felt like poop. And I didn't want to show that to all of you.
Poop cold.
Oh, that... Let's not use that one again. So yeah, I think this is a great way to start off the new year. I hope all of you had a wonderfully relaxing or exciting or just in general enjoyable holiday season. Welcome back. I hope you got the rest you needed. Because last time we all saw each other, it was for Scribbler Hug, which I do have to say, it was such a fantastic success, everyone. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for supporting Scribbler Hug. We had so much fun. The team did an amazing job, and our charity partners are so grateful. They're so grateful for the passion and enthusiasm and stories that all of you shared. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that again. We were just talking a little bit before the stream began that I would love for Scribbler Hug to be a biannual thing. Right now it's annual during the holidays, which is good. But I want to do more with it because I think that it is a great platform. I think we have a wonderful community here who is energized and enthusiastic about doing good in the world. So yeah, keep an eye out. We are going to be doing the next one for World of Cord. So, Kobotojo! Hello, hello! Welcome, new friend! Welcome to the crew. Hello! Thank you so much for the follow. Yes, so we are going to be doing a special Scribbler Hug partnering up with World of Cord. So we'll talk about that more later. I know you guys already heard that announcement, so that'll be a good thing. But tonight is a night full of announcements and excitement and creation and newness. Hatchling, Rich, you want to take it away? You want to tell the fine scribblers what we're doing tonight?
Yeah, so Scriv and I are going to work towards a Kickstarter in the sort of fall period. It's going to be called Cryptid Creeks, and it's an idea I had during a creative writing degree actually. It was going to be a novel, but I thought it would be actually better as a tabletop RPG. So we're going to work on this kind of Goonies adjacent project.
Yes. Lots of Goonies inspiration. Lots. I see a lot of Ghibli in here as well. It's going to be very, very cool. Powered by the apocalypse as well. So using a game that we all know and love, super easy to pick up, very accessible with that OGL. It's very good, very good. So yeah, we're gonna create a brand new story, and we were excited to have this on stream because this is our opportunity to take what we typically do on Chill Creation Nights, right? But show you from start to finish a game design process. And I was thinking,
exactly,
as you know, just mentally preparing for the stream tonight, and as we were sharing notes and everything, what is my game design process? And it's been hard to like really put it into words because I think it's a little bit different every time around. I've got the core stuff down. Like we're going to talk about design goals tonight.
Yeah.
Right? We'll talk about setting. We'll talk about what themes do we want to communicate through this game. So we are going to do the classic screen share. And I'm going to pull up a document and we're just going to start writing. No fancy templates, nothing. This is truly square one, page one.
Yep.
Yeah. So you want to tell them a little bit about your idea for Cryptid Creek? Introduce a little bit to the theme and the type of story while I pull up the screen share?
Yeah, so Cryptid Creeks is going to be a coming-of-age mystery game where you play a gang of teens and you're tasked with finding a mythological creature to save your homes from demolition. So in the Goonies, they obviously set out to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure so they could do the same thing and essentially save their homes from development and industry. It's really personal to me because I grew up in Cornwall in the UK on a river much of the time. So I used to go sailing along there, and I used to live on a boatyard as well, which was amazing when we were doing up a boat to live on. And there was woods everywhere, and we used to have lots of imagination. And I kind of wanted to express something about friendship, discovery, and kind of also rebellion, and at the end of the day, hope. They're kind of the key themes so far I've got. But as far as I've got so far, the game's going to be sort of split in two. So one element will be trying to locate this like cryptid or this like guardian spirit of the creek, which is said to be able to protect that kind of area. And then the second half is you kind of essentially sabotaging the development company and their construction plans. So it's going to be you're going to have to juggle those two elements.
Yep. Your audio just got really crackly.
Did it?
Yeah. Did anyone else? Is anyone else hearing them crackles? It's sounding mighty crackly a little bit there. Maybe it's just me. Hey chat, let us know. Yeah? You too? Okay.
Crackly crackles.
Ooh, snap crackle pop. Hello Fable. Hello Clunch. Robot Rich, no!
Oh, is it robotic?
Oh, I can hear my own voice now too. That's odd. Are we having some stream degradation? How are we looking? Are we getting glitchy, y'all? Are we looking okay? I hope so. I truly hope so.
Am I still robotic?
Video's fine? Oh, that sounded okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounded great.
Strange. I might have just had to take out the these earbuds are talk about degradation. They're on their last legs. They got splits and knots and all
Splits
sorts
and
of,
knots. No, that doesn't
yeah.
sound good.
We need 1980s Sony Walkman, don't we? So
We do. Okay, let's hide you. That should be good. All right, I've got our video feeds looking all right here. We're gonna expand them a little bit. We're gonna blow ourselves up bigger for this.
just testing the sound. Am I coming through okay now? Just let everyone let me know.
That
in the
sounds
chat.
clear to me. And also, if the music is overwhelming, chat, you know what to do. Just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll be good. Okay.
So aside from the kind of premise and the themes, all I've got is a cover for the Kickstarter, which Josh,
You do
who's our
have a
artist,
Kickstarter cover.
yeah, Josh Somerville, Jacqueline's done the Kickstarter art, and he's just going to expand that out into a whole book cover, so it sort of like expands up into the creek. It's going to be amazing.
So beautiful. I don't know if y'all have seen it on Twitter, but it's looking very nice. Very nice indeed.
So between now and probably August, you and I will be thrashing this thing out
Yes.
and getting it 70, 80% finished, apart from all the art. And then we shall be ready to roll.
And speaking of ready to roll, I think we're good with the screen share. I have a little bit of a different layout this time because I think it'll be nicer to keep our faces on the screen while having the actual document. So, 3, 2, 1, transition. Boom. Whoa, hold on. That's a weird background there. Let's just, let's do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's better. Okay, I know we had a little bit of a purple background there. That's fine. We don't need it. There you go. How's that? That works. And actually, if we wanted to, now that I'm thinking, I could actually put a little bit of color back there.
Yeah. We just put the
Here we go. It's just for a little bit of color in the background there. It's not actually gonna really be shown or seen.
I put the cover art on in the Discord chat for you. If you want to add that to the top of the document.
Ooh, yes.
People can see it in.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And actually, if you wouldn't mind, those notes that you sent me, did you want to share those and have them on the paper to start off? And use them as like a thing, or are we just gonna go totally from scratch?
We'll start from scratch, I think. But yes. I know what we need to explore.
Okay.
So the first thing I always do with talking of game development, the first thing I always do is getting an image done. I know it's not always that easy to afford, but like I definitely save a bit of money for a good image. Because not only does it represent what you're trying to work on, I find it very inspiring to look at and to keep focused, but also it's very good for promotions.
It is. It is. So and
it's very handy.
For better or worse, those are things that we need to think about when you're first starting out. It depends on the goal, I would say. So if we're going to talk about creation from start to finish, in addition to creating, your game, what is your goal? What do you want to do with this game? Is it just a home game? Is it something that you want to publish? Is it something that you want to crowdfund in some way? Are you designing it for someone? So keeping your audience and the purpose in mind is something that's very good because it'll help you define your scope. So scope is something that we always want to think about for games, for sure.
And that's particularly important when you're kind of working out your funding goal for a crowdfund as well. Actually, because a lot of people I know nowadays are beginning to move into digital only rewards because of obviously a paper shortage. Which is, I think, is a bit of a shame because it's some people actually just only buy physical books, game books, and other people really just enjoy both. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, if there is a massive paper shortage, then that might be the way forward.
And that's that's something that is a bit of a concern, of course. So. And I'm sure all of you, being in the Turpig, the TTRPG industry, have heard about that and have seen the outcomes of like paper shortages. So it is a challenge. Did I just jack up our video feeds? No, we're good. So yeah, thinking about the medium of publication as well is another one. So we'll cover all of these things. I think the main things I start with, though... Actually, let me pull the picture up and have that on the screen so y'all can see it as well. But the first things I tend to start with, and I don't actually have them in order here, are premise, themes, and then design goals. Those are really like the first big three that I try to go for when I'm sitting down and doing deliberate game design. Now, obviously, this isn't to say this is the only way to do it. This is the end-all, be-all. It's just one method for game design. And what happens more often than not is we just have a burst of inspiration. You have an idea, and it could be a lot of different aspects of the game all at once. You could already be thinking of a plot. It could generate from an idea you have for a specific character or a specific kind of creature, a being. I started coming up with Outpost 5, the Bard RPG campaign, just with thinking about asteroid belts. That's all it was. It was asteroid belts and space dust, and then it evolved into more than that. So the way we are presenting this tonight is more of, I'm multitasking here, pulling up your picture, adding it as a source. It's really providing an example of a method that might work for you. And it is something that we do want to turn into a tattered bear. We'll talk about tattered bear another time. It is something that we want to turn into a Bard commune kind of workshop as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Like
we want to take each
plan.
of these chill creations. We want to take them.
There you go.
And create a workshop, like you say. And that the workshop's important because whenever you run a crowdfund, or whenever you develop a project, you're going to run into stumbling blocks all the time, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's really good to have them down and recorded, so other people don't make them.
Learn from our mistakes and pitfalls and bumbling through game design. So, quick note, look at this artwork. Isn't it beautiful? It is stunning. So, as we're talking about the idea, the premise of Cryptid Creeks, I want to keep this on the screen because, Rich, you're exactly right. Having visual inspiration, this is why we do like Pinterest boards and inspiration boards, right?
Absolutely.
Having that visual inspiration really, really helps. Never underestimate the power of artwork or song or music. I tend to have very specific playlists that I end up kind of curating when I'm designing certain things.
Yeah.
The music I was listening to for Heroes of Iostair is vastly different from what I listened to for Outpost 5. And for Bard RPG, I definitely tend to lean more into that the lo-fi genre bending kind of stuff, because it's not any one specific setting. So for Cryptid Creeks, we've got artwork. Maybe there's different kind of music. You were talking about 80s synthwave earlier, which really hits that genre nicely.
I've also got the Lost Boys soundtrack downstairs. So
oh, if only cool. We didn't have copyright issues with music.
Yeah.
We would be playing more than this Pretzel Rocks DCMA safe chiptunes. I like chiptunes though. Yeah. Ooh, man. That's all right.
I think almost bedtime's right as well. We do need to write for ourselves something that we'd be interested in.
Yes.
In writing or developing. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing, because if you don't do that, 100% the end product isn't going to be.
Yeah. You've got to
where
feel
you want it to be. You got to feel it, yeah. You got to maintain that and sustain that passion as well.
It would be very difficult to write something that I don't feel passionate about, that I'm not excited to see in the world.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so premise: group of children.
The tagline I've got is coming of age tabletop RPG powered by the apocalypse.
Coming of age TTRPG powered by the how do you spell apocalypse? Apocalypse.
Eucalyptus.
By the eucalyptus. Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus.
Apocalypse Eucalyptus.
That's my new PC name. My name will be Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus Maximus.
Nice.
Okay, so there's the premise. That is your central theme, your central vibe. Like, I would say that's the overarching bit to it. So when it comes to different...
That's the tagline you put on Twitter, on Kickstarter.
Yeah, well, in that case, we'll probably call that the tagline.
Yeah.
Because the premise speaks more to the genre and the setting. So Cryptid Creeks, players are kids/teens.
Yeah, gang of teens.
Yeah. Are a gang of teens who are, let's say, discovering strange things around their neighborhood creek. Bad things. They must investigate and learn about the natural world around them and the strange inhabitants therein. Therein, in order to protect their home or their favorite place, their home, however you want to say it. Yeah, it really does impact their homes. So there we go. Players are a gang of teens who are discovering strange things around their neighborhood creek. Bad things. I don't know why that makes me laugh a little bit. Bad things. They must investigate and learn about the natural world around them and the strange inhabitants therein in order to protect their homes. Excellent. So, scrolling up, there are some very specific themes in here. I would say you have
friendship.
Friendship is always a good theme. Friendship, nature/environment.
Yep.
We would say there's quite a bit of science in here. So something that I would love to bring to this game is an understanding, like a basic understanding of how ecosystems work, biomes, biology. So we would love to draw from that a little bit, especially when we start looking at, we're considering some of that for playbooks and different moves you could make and the ways in which you're engaging with the world around you. So I want to put a little bit of biology / ecosystems, ecology, I guess.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I love the idea of a game teaching things, inter and intrapersonal
Hi, Chris.
skills, and introducing kids to concepts. I love linking it to those different things that kids of this age would be learning about in school. So we'll look at that as well. Hey yo, creative folks! Hey yo, equally creative folk! Yay for educate! Look of Legends, hello! Of course you're cheering for educational games. We love the nerds. Okay. What other
else?
themes are we
So
working
rebellion's a big part of it. Rebellion's a big
Oh,
part of it.
heck yeah, it is. Love a good rebellious phase. I'm going to make another page here and give ourselves some space to work with.
I guess rebellion, anti-establishment as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rebellion, anti-establishment. Yes. Aww. Sayuan was like, 2 favorite people. Oh my goodness. I know the gang's all here. Ooh, our artist is here as well. Oh my god. I don't know who did that artwork, but it's rubbish. Get your money back. Get out.
Stephanie's work.
I will not stand for you undervaluing yourself, even sarcastically. You are amazing and talented and brilliant, and you should own that. How is everyone? Hello, Riley. Lore Mistress too. Dang, we've got an amazing crew tonight. We are doing great. Wonderfully. Okay, so themes. Friendship, nature / environment, biology and ecology, rebellion, anti-establishment.
And hope. It has to have a hopeful... Because the whole thing's about saving.
Hope and responsibility as well.
Yeah.
You've got these kids deciding to act. It's a call to action, really.
It is. Yeah.
To protect something that is important, that is sacred, and they're being driven by that hope at the end of the day. Because why do we act for certain things, whether they are big things, small things, scary things, whatever? It's because we have hope that our actions will mean something, right? That's kind of how I like to look at it. So, most of the time, sometimes. Otherwise, what's driving our actions? There's always some element of hope in there, and hope will be mixed in with other things, like your inspiration or fear, anger, revenge. A lot of more uncomfortable, sometimes harmful emotions can drive this as well, but there's always that hope that what you do will have an impact. So I think that's a big part of this as well. Recovering from a bad migraine? No.
Yeah, we're also going to, talking of we're also going to be playing with the emotional aspect of it. So
yeah.
In some of the Powered by the Apocalypse games, they have a thing called strings.
Yes.
Which is kind of the thing that binds people together, and you can kind of impact each other and NPCs using them.
I think
so.
That
we'll have to have some
really
element of that between
here.
the gang and between the residents of the creek and the construction people and the developers. The whole thing has to be influenced.
Yeah, absolutely. And that fits in really nicely with all of the other themes, to be honest. The more you can have your themes compound and build upon each other, the more cohesive your message will be within the game you're creating. If you have a lot of themes that seem kind of disjointed, like this flow with adding more and more and more onto it and then linking it to the system that you want to use, because we're doing Powered by the Apocalypse, when you can link those themes to integral mechanics within your system, the design's just going to be flawless. It's going to be seamless is what I'm trying to say. What's this one?
You have to leave. If you've not seen the Goonies, you have to leave the stream, unfortunately.
Oh no!
I'm joking. Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
No spoilers.
I would suggest watching it though.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good.
It's got a lot of famous people that you recognise now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. But seeing them from so long ago.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
Josh
goodness.
Josh Brolin's like a teen in it.
Riley, I like that. Consequences and accountability.
Hmm.
Yes. Not just on the part of the players either. This has that feeling as well of the younger generation, the newer generations being the ones to carry that torch. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's the world that, and this environmentalism, right? Climate change, all of these very hot topics. In those different conversations, more and more you see younger generations being the ones to carry the torch because they're the ones who inherit the earth. And I think that comes into play here because the creek, the natural surroundings that the players will have grown up in, and we have some cool ideas for the players building their neighborhood and
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
having
so good.
some
Yeah.
collaborative world building aspect as well.
Yeah.
So collaboration,
There's gonna be a lot of interact. There's gonna be a lot
teamwork.
of interaction.
Very
There's gonna be a
interactive
lot of
game.
interaction.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
There's gonna be journaling. There's gonna be sketching. There's gonna be
Yeah,
a
a
scrapbook
proper
element.
like field journal kind of thing.
There's gonna be plans to sabotage
Yes.
the
Oh,
construction workers and stuff. So you have to, yeah.
I'm so many different aspects of play will come
Yes.
into play with this game. So yeah,
Yeah.
collaboration and teamwork is very good. I think that sounds good. Honestly, what else would you add to this list? So I'll read it out again for those
Yeah,
of you
read
who are
it to
just
me.
listening in. We've got friendship, we've got nature and environment, biology/ecology, rebellion, anti-establishment, hope, responsibility and call to action, emphasis on strings. I wanted to include that as a theme, even though it's also a reference to the mechanics. Consequences and accountability, collaboration, and teamwork.
Yeah. Perfect.
Is there anything else we're missing here? Exploring unknown, supernatural. There is a heavy supernatural theme because it's cryptids. So
Folklore, I guess. Folklore. is one of the
supernatural
key ones.
and folklore. Yes. Yes. Aw, we like getting excited about this. Very on theme indeed. Folklore. And
Yeah.
I would love to see folklore from multiple cultures.
Oh, 100%.
well.
I mean, that is part of the reason why we're doing it. It's so that everyone can pick up the system and the base game, and they can create whatever cryptids they want, or whatever urban myths, whatever folklorian creatures they want. And then we had an idea today that we would make as a stretch goal on the crowdfund. We would gather them all together and create a supplement for Monster of the Week. So all the cryptids we have in the game will go into a collection for Monster of the Week.
Except I had
That's a very-
another
cool
idea
idea.
too. Remember the trading
Oh, did-
cards? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so hear me out though. I love Pokemon. Total 90s kid. Totally got into Pokemon card games. What if we had to take on Pokemon trading cards with the cryptids, but made it more ethical so it's not like, forcing your Pokemon to fight each other? I really, really like this idea. Josh, we need you to make cryptid cards.
Cryptid card. Oh man, that is brilliant.
And they'll have
That is
different
brilliant.
effects. You can have different
Cryptid
actions
cards.
on the environment. Because that was one of the ideas that you had before
Yeah,
that
it
we were
was, it
talking
was.
about. Where you need to find the cryptids and work with them to restore peace, to restore health and vitality to the creek. So the cryptids in this are inherently, intrinsically connected to the natural surroundings, which is so exciting.
Nice.
Josh said, I am down. Yes, yeah. No beating up animals for gladiatorial combat. No. We make friends with the creek cryptids and take down the establishment.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, creating a habitat but with cryptids. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could also be multiple in the same environment, obviously, as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
this is getting me very excited.
Right?
And we're also having the other thing I thought of is like
Yeah.
Powered by the Apocalypse has a thing called playbooks, which is essentially like character classes.
We will have playbooks.
And we thought about having most traditional teen gang sort of members, like the River Rat and the Anarchist and I thought
Yeah.
someone called the Conquer would just bash everything, you know.
That's fun.
And
That's
but we're
very
also
fun.
gonna have a playbook as a dog, so their pet dog.
The animal companion. Could be
Yeah,
anything.
it's gonna be actually a playbook. Yeah.
You did mention that, but I hadn't fully thought about it until you said it. I've
I thought
always
that would be
loved the
brilliant.
idea of actually playing the animal companion in a game. Like let me be that one. But functionally invincible because you never want the animal companion to go down.
Yeah,
Um,
there's not gonna be death in the game anyway. It's just gonna be
yep.
like you say, consequences.
Lore
Um,
Mistress, I like that. 100% sensitivity consultants will be needed. Yes.
oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. For multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we've got I'm going to keep scrolling down. So, we've got the tagline. We've got a short blurb on the premise. We've got beautiful artwork. And now we have a lovely list of themes. And that could shift and we could add to it over time. That is okay. There's no limit to how many different types of storytelling and setting themes that you can have in this. So next, I would like to talk a little bit about what do we have in here? System, scope, medium, and design goals. So let's talk about the system a little bit.
Yeah. So
Powered by the apocalypse. So when it comes to choosing a system for your idea or creating your own, like we said before, you really want the different elements of that system to blend well with the themes and with the premise. Just because some systems are designed for specific things, and some systems will fit different types of playstyles a little bit better than others. So I would like to hear from you, Rich. Why did you choose Powered by the Apocalypse?
Well, it's very, very player led, and there's a lot of agency with the players. For instance, the GM doesn't actually roll dice using that system, so it's not a competition with the GM at all. They only sort of get involved when you sort of fail a roll, so a 6 or beneath on 2d6. That's one of the reasons, but also the dice mechanics mean that whatever you roll, something happens. So there's either a failure, or there's like a soft pass, or there's like a very strong pass. But each one has a narrative kind of effect. And I thought also the idea of the strings or the states, they might be called states in our game, but they will be very interesting in terms of their effect on the dice rolls and the fact that the moves will sort of unlock them and clear them. So there's a lot of stuff going on that sort of links up well. It's also narrative based. It's also narrative kind of focused.
Very narratively focused. So I'm making a little list here to remind ourselves as we go through what aspects of Powered by the Apocalypse were particularly interesting for this game. So it's player-led. GMs don't roll, just guide. Dice mechanics ensure an outcome for every roll, which helps to drive narrative progression. It is very narratively focused. And also you were talking specifically about strings, and was it stakes that you said?
States,
like a state of being.
Yeah, exactly. It's like emotional states, which are mainly emotional states, but also physical states.
Okay, I'm gonna make those notes as well.
Yeah.
So I like making lists and diagrams and copious amounts of notes, because if at any point during the design process you start to flounder a little bit, or you feel like you're exceeding your scope, which we'll talk about next, then it helps to go back to those early notes and remind yourself of what specific things you are really trying to drive home. And I know I've brought up this analogy before talking to you, Rich, and I may have brought it up in a stream as well. But whenever I think about game design now, I think of something that I actually learned from one of my professors when I was finishing up my dissertation. you have your idea. You're walking down a long hallway with doors on either side of you, and you see a door open at the very end of the hallway, and it's open, and there's light shining through it, and it's beautiful, and it's enticing, and it's calling you closer, and that is your game, or your thesis, or whatever it is. That is your goal. And you go all the way down, and you're opening the doors or peeking through. Some of them might be held ajar. You can hear different things, and all of them sound so very interesting and so cool and fascinating. But if you open the door and whatever you see behind that door doesn't match with those original themes and those system hooks and your design goals, then you have to close that door. Because the more you add that is disjointed with what your core intent is with your game, the more convoluted it'll become. You run the risk of that. And the more you try to squeeze into it just because you have this very cool, all-encompassing idea to create this amazing, multifaceted game, you can have a multifaceted game, but make sure it fits your themes. Otherwise, players will get confused.
I always take the approach that I sort of learned during the degrees, the creative writing degrees, is that you continue to strip it down, strip it away to its like core themes, and then you've got like a really clean product or a really clean manuscript. And I think if it deviates too much from that central kind of premise, it can get a bit muddy.
Yeah. You can have complementary things, and maybe later on do like an expansion, whatever, or an offshoot of it. But as long as you're working towards that goal, and it'll make a difference. It really will. And all of us as consumers of some sort of media, right? Whether it's a movie or a video game or a book or a TTRPG, you can feel when stuff seems like it was just thrown in and ham-fisted, and you can tell. So your audience, your players, your readers will be able to tell, and they'll appreciate your deliberate design.
Yeah, and also it also sort of impacts on accessibility as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like if you keep it nice and streamlined, nice and compact, then people can just pick it up. Well, Powered by Apocalypse seems fairly rules light, for want of a better term.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of disjointed, this music is very disjointed. If you make your game very accessible to new players, beginners, which I've always tried to do. Oh yeah,
then,
that is a design goal.
Yeah,
you've just touched upon a design goal, so we're gonna pop around a little bit. I would say
accessibility is a big one.
Let's move scope and medium down, because I think your themes and the system hooks and your design goals will help to inform your scope. And again, this isn't a solid set-in-stone checklist. It's just how we're doing it tonight.
Yeah.
So, design goals.
Free flowing. Free flowing.
You want it to be all ages, accessible.
Yeah.
Right? Easy to pick up and play. What else did you say? Interactive. That's a big one. That's a big one.
Because I like the sort of move towards more interactivity with games. I mean, you always talk to me about Dread. You always talk to me about Dread. I know it's a different genre.
I love it. Am I gonna go on a Dread hype minute here for a minute?
Well, you could do if you wanted to, but.
Okay, y'all, but Dread. Also, I'm loving all of the hype and like people raising their voices virtually saying, yes. This is so encouraging. It's so encouraging, and it's so wonderful to see all of these creators. The stream is full of creators right now.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Yes, Hello Santo. Yes, Dread is very fun. Okay, so Dread, for those of you who have not played it, it is a TTRPG focused on the horror genre, and it seeks to inspire that feeling of sitting around a campfire and telling ghost stories, telling monster stories. And there's no dice. You have your paper, paper and pencil for thinking about your character's backstory and the connections to other characters. Sure, it's done through a series of like short answer prompts, like writing prompts almost. But then the only real mechanic in there is based around a Jenga tower. There are no dice. There's a Jenga tower. And every time you make a move that could influence the progression of the story in some way, whether that is you being proactive or preventing something from happening to you or one of your friends, you pull a block from the Jenga tower. And of course, over time, it has built-in suspense because the tower becomes more and more unstable. And if you are the unlucky friend to make the tower fall on your turn, then you're removed from the story in some way. Whatever way that may be. Maybe you'll come back as something else, or, whatever it is. You just disappear. You're removed. And you can no longer impact the story. So then, when you rebuild the tower, you start with less blocks than you first started out with for that second round. And it just continues to build, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it so much. And that's right. You can also make the tower fall and sacrifice yourself. And if I'm the GM, if I'm the narrator for that part, whenever that happens, you gotta give them the most cinematic, heroic feeling moment that'll really, really stick with them, because every sacrifice should have that kind of impact. It should hold meaning. It should make a difference. So yes, we love Dread.
Nice.
Oh, I haven't run a game of Dread at all this past year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I'll run some more Dread games. Anyway,
Nice.
So design goals, all ages accessible, easy to pick up and play, interactive. I love that interactive bit because, again, it goes into the themes and it's educational. Exactly. And it gives...
Another big one.
I strongly feel that the more players can engage with the game, other than just reacting, the more they can engage and be part of the world building and feel like they have that impact, the more they will have ownership of the game. And I think that's very important for these themes as well. That ownership and accountability and that pride in whatever it is you're discovering and creating. So interactive is a big one for design goals.
Yeah.
To some degree, it is educational.
Yeah, it will be. It definitely will be. Especially when we talk about all this ecology and environment.
We really want to foster teamwork with this one. There is a lot of teamwork with each other, with the cryptids coming together for a cause. You're not just passively reacting to things. This is really encouraging proactivity. Proaction? Proactive choices. Something like that.
So I think what we do, because Powered by the Apocalypse is meant to just be it's not seen as a system reference document. It's seen more as a philosophy behind design. So I think we should spend the next couple of months really developing a way of a dice mechanic based on the established one that is a group role.
I love group roles, so I've got them in Bard RPG. I love group roles.
Yes, I know. I think we have to have it in this as well. So the mechanics would have to reflect the teamwork.
I'm putting that in the design goal as another little tag with the teamwork and player-driven aspect of it. Okay.
Well, that sounds good, Michael.
Ooh.
That sounds really interesting.
I'm going to read it out for those of you who maybe don't see the chat. So, my kids today built a whole council of masked rulers, the kingdom, who each represented civilized gods. They are young gods of the beasts, magical critters on the edges of the kingdom resisting its expansion. So good. Beast Preservation Corps, the game they're playing, is very in line with what you're doing here. Love it.
Nice.
Yes. Very good. I like
Brilliant.
it. I like it. So if we had to pick the primary, the big 3 design goals. So I will say where I don't think you should limit yourself to themes and premise, all those notes in there, just let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow. Design goals, I would say you want to be a little bit more deliberate with what you choose as your big goals, because those goals are your objectives, right? and you don't want
Yeah.
to deviate from them too much. Those are your guiding pillars of game design. So the big things, I would say, all ages accessible, because being easy to pick up and play is part of that. So that's one. We'll make them like that.
So I'm trying to sort my phone out.
I think teamwork, no, all good. Teamwork is another one. Fostering teamwork is a big piece because that also includes being player driven and group actions and roles. And then I would also say, and let me know if you would add or change any of these, because this is all part of that refinement process. I would put interactive as a design goal. Because we see educational in there, but that also is kind of covered by the themes. The design goals are things that you are going to use to guide your design. So educational aspects for this, I think, will come out by consequence of the other things. I would say interactivity as a design goal is a big one, because that shows links to how you present the game, the different mechanics you introduce, how you get the players involved and engaging with it.
And people are doing some amazing stuff with interactive RPGs. Like, I casted the sticker game recently, which is what I thought was brilliant.
Which one?
Played it over the holidays. The sticker game. I played it over the holidays with the kids.
I haven't played that.
You can just use any stickers you want to create stories.
Oh, I like
that.
that.
And everyone's got them lying around the house, so it's just brilliant.
I need more stickers. I don't have enough stickers. I don't have stickers lying around the house.
Well, we're 100% going to have cryptid stickers, that's for sure.
Yes! Stickers and playing cards. I'm not trying to expand the scope. I'm just really excited. Really excited about cards. Okay, so I think we have refined our design goals pretty well, and I'm going to turn them into a handy-dandy bullet list. So, all ages accessible, interactive, and fostering teamwork. That's not to say the other things we put in that list are not important. Far from it. I think those are just things that will amplify those design goals that we've already come up with. Does that sound okay?
It does sound great. It does sound great.
Okay. Now, let's talk about scope. And we're going to move on to the next page for this one. Also, how are y'all doing with the way the screen is set up? So talk about presentation, right? Is this looking good from a stream standpoint? Oh, I just dorked that one up. Is this looking good? Do you like this layout? Because in the past, I would have the Word document here be much larger. But then we would be like super small and we wouldn't have a good spot for the closed captions. So I think this balances out pretty well. Working okay for you? Good. You like it? Excellent. That's what I like to. I can read it.
Nice and simple.
That's very good.
That's the main thing.
Legibility is good. We're on 28-point font and I can keep scrolling in. We're good. In fact, I want to move this a little bit this way. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So, scope. What do we mean by scope? In my mind, scope helps you determine what your product actually is. Are we creating a campaign setting? Are we creating an expansion? Are we creating its own system? Are we creating a setting, an adventure? So that's where we can kind of help to give ourselves some parameters for this as well. So what is Cryptid Creeks?
It's an original RPG, and it's going to have a Creative Commons so that people can obviously rate away with their own creeks, their own cryptids, and their own antagonist.
So it is an original TTRPG.
RPG, yeah.
Using the Powered by Apocalypse system, so that's good. And that will
completely.
include like unique playbooks
Yeah.
and character options. That will include a little bit of world building, right? World building and setting.
Well, yes. So the players will obviously create the setting. Every single session will have the same instruction. So it'll be so and so's come to demolish your homes. Your parents are going to sell up and move, but you're not having it. So you're going to find this guardian cryptid and sabotage their plans.
So this
And
is
that's how it starts, and it can go anywhere from there.
so through this, are we also creating an adventure, like a plot? Or are we creating adventure prompts?
Adventure prompts is a template, adventure template.
Excellent. I think that sounds appropriate for this. Because when you're creating a game, it's very easy, especially when you love to write and you love to create adventures, it's very easy to let that scope expand as you're going through. So you need to kind of set out right off the bat, what exactly are you doing with this? And you can say you're creating a TTRPG, but still using another system. That's totally fine, because that's Powered by the Apocalypse, something that we can do that with. It would also be different. So I would amend the scope to say original TTRPG with unique system. That's how I would put it out there if it was something like Inspirals.
Yeah.
Right? So
sure.
if we were to use Inspirals as an example, it's not just a TTRPG, it's also its own system with completely unique mechanics and decision resolution, aspects to it. So for this, we've got the original TTRPG included in that, unique playbooks and character options, light world building and player created setting, and adventure templates. You also are, when it comes to being interactive, also looking at the guidebook being a workbook in a way.
Yeah.
Right.
So how would you put that?
And I would say
a working activity. I suppose it's an activity.
For now, I wrote interactive game book, or game
perfect.
guide, something, whatever you're gonna
Interactive game guide, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Interactive game guide.
I'll send you this document as well, so we'll email it and share it.
And then we'll start fleshing it out as well.
Yeah. So another nice thing about setting up the scope and your design goals, this also helps to set those early foundations for the structure of your book. Because what you end up putting in this scope, and I'm saying this to the audience as well, I know you know this, but when you're setting up the scope, you can look at this as eventually leading into chapters as well. So you're going to have a chapter or two about the playbooks and character options and the actions. You'll have a chapter on the world building guidance and questions to ask, those prompts.
Yeah.
And then as you go through, I see the adventure template being carried all through versus being its own chapter.
It will be, yeah. Some of them will be specific to different parts of the game, and others will have a sort of a through line all the way to the end. I was thinking, I was considering taking belief and disbelief from Inspirals and using it in this as well. I think it worked really well in terms of like passing tests and earning belief
really
tokens,
nicely.
and then the more belief, say you have, we had milestones in Inspiral, so it's like there wasn't any death or any severe injury. It was just more like it unlocked a kind of milestone in terms of like positive milestones and negative milestones, and then events happened through that. So I like the same idea with this. Whereas, say you got like 3 good rolls in a row, or you pass 3 tests, you get the belief tokens, and then you find a clue to the cryptid. Say it's like you find some hair in the churchyard or something, or some strange fur. caught in the in sort of like foliage or whatever.
So
And
what
then,
I've
or you talk to a local in the tavern, and they talked
Yeah.
about this the other night where they saw these glowing eyes in the woods. And as you go through it, you're trying to piece together the image and the
the
kind of
story
location for this
threads.
cryptid.
Yeah, you're investigating. So
Exactly.
what I've done here then, I went back to our list for system.
It could be a black
And
dog. It could be a black dog. Exactly. That's exactly what it could be. It could be you. That could be your cryptid. This is kind of what we're after. We want people to invent their own one and invent the clues towards it.
that's a great backer tier for Kickstarter. Like at a higher level,
Yeah.
create a cryptid. Or become a cryptid.
Oh,
I
oh,
want
I
to
didn't think
have
of that,
a
Scriv.
cryptid.
I haven't already set up the Kickstarter page with that tier, cryptid creation tier. I haven't already done that.
We need cryptid sonas. I want cryptid Scriv to be in there somewhere.
Scriv.
Yeah.
Scriv the cryptid.
Yes.
Cryptid.
So what I've done, when you're talking about belief and disbelief and tests from Inspirals, I put that under the system list because that
that's
helps
perfect.
to
Yeah.
show another system hook and lead into specific mechanics that we want to bring into play. Okay.
The sort of the contrasting between belief and disbelief, even the wording of it works really well.
It does.
Because you need the belief to find this thing. It's folk.
Gotta believe in cryptids. Believe.
Exactly.
Clap your hands loud if you believe in cryptids. And so another thing that we talked about, just to share with the crew here, when it comes to having this being an interactive game guide, I really like, what did I call it? A field journal. I really like the idea of this having a field journal kind of aspect to it, where the more you
That's great.
improve your belief, the more you gain belief, the more you learn and investigate the clues that are pieced together and the different tests that you overcome. You had this idea. You start to see more of the cryptids. More of the aspects of them become observable, become apparent. So imagine like a veil slowly being lifted. So I had this fun idea with the field journal, and we're just super excited, so we want to share it with y'all. You could unlock different descriptions and characteristics of a cryptid, and then you can draw them. But then as you learn more, you draw more. You add more to your cryptid sketch, so that you as a player are discovering it and seeing it evolve before your eyes in a very tactile way.
Yeah. Whereas one person can have scales, another person can have like say fur, like any like you shed its skin, or it's like it's in the river, it's in the actual river, it's in the water, or it's in the forest, it's in the churchyard, anything. I mean, that's the kind of idea behind it. The amount of like variations that what people go. I love the idea that
biology and evolution.
Almost Bedtime came out with whereas not only do you create the location at the beginning before the session begins, but you have an idea of the cryptid and the story surrounding it. Therefore the GM or the Creek Guide, I think we were going to call it, would then take those elements and weave it into the narrative.
Very good. I like.
So it's almost like they're creating the whole session or sessions.
They are
before it's even begun, and essentially, the GM's just literally guiding them.
So that'll go into collaborative world building and player created settings.
Yeah.
Settings. Cryptids, etc. Adversaries as well.
Yeah, adversaries. Yeah. We said that
because you could have that questionnaire in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the base game, I was going to have them being hotel developers, and they're trying to smash down the houses in this kind of picturesque creek. But it could be literally anywhere. It could be a supermarket.
Gentrification.
Yeah. Second homes. Definitely some sensitivity.
They're putting in a Starbucks. They're tearing down the trees and putting in a Starbucks. I don't know why I went Bostonian there, but there you have it. I think there was an SNL skit that just popped out of my consciousness there. Okay, so questionnaires and prompts, driving the collaborative world building and player created settings, cryptid adversaries, etc. Very good. Not that coffee chain. Very good. Sometimes an accent just comes out of nowhere, but here's the thing. My normal manner of speech is pretty neutral. When I go back home, the southern elements, that twang comes out a little bit more. I've always liked to say that I can speak different languages, I can learn different languages, but speaking English in different accents is very hard for me. I have a very difficult time if it's not something that I've already been like exposed to or consumed in media, and if it hadn't come out in like weird ways where I'm talking to the dogs or talking to all of you or in a D&D in a TRPG kind of game, whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to learn Yorkshire from my partner. That those good Sheffieldisms. Anyway. Okay, so we have a scope for what the product is going to be. So I'm calling this product scope. And this gives us an idea of what needs to go in this book. I like having integrated adventure templates. So conversely, just for the crew here, you can have sample adventures. You can write the whole thing as, you know, a pre-published campaign book with the plots, with the chapters, and have everything out. The thing I like about integrated adventure templates, especially when you have player-driven plot creation, as well as driving the plot forward through their actions, I love it. I love it so much because it's, anyway, I'm also getting excited about Bard RPG talking about these things because we see every time we work together on something, we see similar themes coming up. But the beautiful thing is, even though we have similar design goals and scopes with the different things that we've been creating, they're totally different games. They are completely unique from each other.
Nothing like each other.
Which just goes to show how many different interpretations that can exist when you're creating games and stories, and it's wonderful.
That's a beautiful thing about indie games as well. There's so many different stories to be told, and mechanics and all sorts of things. It's amazing. Yep.
Do we want, question from Almost Bedtime, do we want a tutorial / introductory adventure?
Yeah, we'll have 4 or 5. So I'm hoping this will make a decent amount of it will fund quite well, and the stretch goals will be adding adventures towards the end of the book. So it'll be 2/3 the rules and 1/3 the start adventures, and they'll just be example creeks with you know, as you go through it with examples,
visual aids. Do we need visual aids in this? Do we want to have maps of creeks, or do we want to give like a creek template and let players fill it out? Because now I'm being inspired by Color My Quest.
I have to think about that one because we've got Fernando on board, and he does incredible maps.
And Bando's Grove, yes.
Yeah, well, we'll think about that.
We'll think about that. I put a question mark.
Yeah, I mean, we could either have
and Monster Care Squad. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we can even have the creeks done beforehand as a template for any place. Or like you said, or we could have what would be cool would be.
I love all these northerners in the chat too. Kopotojo grew up near Sheffield. Josh is grew up New York, Yorkshire buddies, Leeds. All you northerners. I love it. I love you all.
We could have like a sticker album where with like a church, and Fernando could do like a map. I mean, they can fill in the gaps with different landmark stickers. That's what
caps lock landmark stickers. And
so churchyard, like the bay, like the fishing shop, the
cryptid cards,
police
cryptid
cards. But we don't want to let the scope go out of control.
We don't. We don't.
So we've got
So
to be a little bit careful.
these are not things that would necessarily be part of the game.
Core.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are extras. So I'm going
yeah.
to add this to
Wild
extras.
ideas. Wild extras.
Wild extra ideas. New list. And I'm keeping them in caps lock too. Because that's, oh goodness, what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Landmark stickers sounds brilliant though.
I love that idea.
Because you've got a little bit of a canvas there, like just say the geography of the creek, and then you stick whichever ones you want for that creek. Creek crawl.
A creek
That's not a bad name.
crawl.
That's not a
Ooh,
bad
you're gonna have some
name.
tough tongue twisters and alliteration
Creek crawl.
here. Yeah,
I might
I like
write that down for me because I'll forget otherwise. Creek guide and a creek crawl.
Creek guide, creek crawl. I'm just putting them
Crawl.
for now under wild extra ideas. Just for now.
Dog playbook. Put that there as well.
Okay, so playbooks. We'll need to talk about
Yeah.
that as well.
Well, I thought we could do that next session. I thought
Next
we could
session?
do playbooks, moves, and stats. That's what there's
Yes.
the three areas we need to get done. So we need. I think it's 5 stats, however many playbooks, and however many moves. I don't want it too exhaustive. I want the moves to, and the moves and the playbooks will inform each other. So in other words, we want the moves to be directly linked to the 2 hemispheres of the game, which are the mystery and trying to find the cryptid, and the sabotage of the development company. So the moves have to inform both those things,
Yep.
encapsulate them, and then the playbooks will link to that as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay.
So things like support, things like flee, things like fight, things like, we want to give them more inventive names, but like just
we'll come up
generalized,
with the stats.
investigate, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing stats first. Because
Yeah, I think we should do stats.
we should start with
Yeah.
stats because those should and will continue to emphasize the themes and the design goals, right? So the stats are how the actions that we can take, right? How we are engaging with the world. So I like the idea of doing stats first, and then
moves.
Do we want to do playbooks and moves? Because moves were part of the
moves.
It's moves. Okay.
I think moves first. Yeah. So what we want is we want a basic set of moves which
I see
everyone
what you
can
mean.
use,
I get it now.
and then the playbooks will have a special move depending on which one you pick. So the dog will have a very different special, like sniffing out something.
Yeah. Or just animal
much better.
companion. Cryptid companion. So I when I was at work today over my lunch break, y'all, I wrote out a whole list of different ideas for playbooks. And I just sent them to you, Rich.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
one of the ideas, creature companion. Yeah, I like the idea of one of your playbooks being that you are supernatural, you are cryptid-ish, you are a creature companion, whatever it may be. You are not human.
Well, that is an interesting. That is very interesting.
Which would lead to very interesting moves and stats.
It would. So something more supernatural, yeah. Something more supernaturally inclined as well, in terms of how they draw on their moves. So their special moves would be very, very specific.
You could even have a specific
Interesting.
genre of cryptid. So if you of something, right? And like an elemental alignment almost.
Were creature.
Yeah, something like that. We'll have a little dice roll chart.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Again,
we'll think about that.
we have to consult together on whether we want it to be of a more realistic game, in terms of apart from the cryptid, obviously.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Or we want it to be involved with the actual gang.
I think it would be an interesting thing. Mothman! Nice, lore mistress. I think... Anyone who's just listening to this, I'm sorry. I must sound so erratic. and just all over the place. Because I see stuff that I find entertaining and interesting in the chat, and then I just have to blurt it out right then and there. So I think that would be fun. Yep, growing up near cryptids could affect the gang, absolutely. Also, whether we call it a gang or a crew, that's something else to consider because there are different social and cultural connotations for these for these words of whatever the collective noun is. So we'll talk about that. I'm not sold on gang, but we'll see.
Crew's
Either
fine.
way,
Anything crew's fine. Yeah.
we'll figure it out. Yeah, it could be a whole variety of things, synonyms. So when it comes to having a companion, a creature companion, or cryptid, or supernatural, non-human, whatever it may be, I mean, that's not a completely unique idea because it got that inspiration from like Monster of the Week, which is also powered by the apocalypse. You see that in Dread as well. So some of the adventures have, like the sci-fi one, you have the option of one of the players, if you so choose, to be like an alien. So
I'm pretty sure Monster Hearts is exactly
Monster
about that.
Hearts, yeah, absolutely. So this is something that'll be fun that will add to it in a cool way, I think. The band, the herd, the herd, the mischief.
We will see.
We'll come
But
up with a good collective noun.
You're going to name your group, group anyway. That's part of the creation process as well.
Yeah.
And maybe even do an emblem for them.
Ooh, what is your symbol? We had the idea. What is yours?
Catapult.
A catapult? Nice. Wait, catapult or slingshot?
Slingshot, yeah.
Slingshot, okay. So, catapult's like...
Catapult in the UK.
Pull the cord. Like a siege weapon. Not gonna lie, I'd play a Scooby-Doo game. Heck yeah. Heck
Well, that
yeah.
could be an
Trebuchet.
expansion. Scooby-Doo could be an expansion.
Ooh. Alright. Scooby-Doo and the Cryptid Crew. Yeah. Alright. They can build a den, a tree house, a clubhouse. They're gonna have a clubhouse probably by the creek.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think this is pretty good. So let's do a quick review. Cryptid Creeks, a coming-of-age TTRPG powered by the apocalypse. The premise: players are a gang of teens who are discovering strange things around their neighborhood creek. Bad things. They must investigate and learn about the natural world around them and the strange inhabitants therein in order to protect their homes. This game is going to communicate themes of friendship, nature and the environment, ecology, rebellion, anti-establishment, hope, responsibility and call to action, emphasis on strengths, consequences, accountability, collaboration, teamwork, supernatural and folklore, and companionship.
Nice.
System powered by the apocalypse. For these different reasons, it is narratively focused. You ensure an outcome for every dice roll. It is player-led. You've got strings and states of emotion and being. And we're also going to bring in belief, disbelief, and tests from Inspirals. Our design goals: all ages accessible, interactive, foster teamwork. The scope we put on a different page. It's an original TTRPG using the Powered by the Apocalypse system. I did like one of the things that you put in the chat, someone, about having a digital format as well. I think that would be very cool. So we'll consider that. Unique playbooks and character options, collaborative world building and player-created settings, cryptids and adversaries through questionnaires and prompts, integrated adventure templates throughout the book, interactive game guide / field journal, introductory adventures as stretch goals, and possible visual aids. Wild extra ideas, landmark stickers, cryptid cards, and creek guide creek crawl. And then next time, we are going to go into stats, moves, and playbooks. And I do agree with saving that for the next segment
that's
of
a
this
whole,
series.
That's a whole session.
At least one. at least one. I think stats and moves, and then probably playbooks part 1. We'll set
And
a
we'd
good
love you along.
number.
We'd love everyone along for that as well, because it's going to
Please,
take a lot
yes.
of thought, really.
Yeah.
In terms of how they link together is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because how closely and how well they link together will impact how it plays.
Yeah.
But I'm confident.
I feel very good about this. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, let's go
really,
back to
really cool,
the other screen.
Idea.
3, 2, 1, wibble arms. Hey, here we are. Back to the duet screen. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
haven't. I mean, I've done a lot of chill creation streams, but with ideas that have already been more or less formed. And even when I was doing the one shot streams, it wasn't like this. So this is really fun. Very much enjoyed being able to share this with all of you in the chat. I hope you enjoyed it. This again has been the very first stage in game creation, game design. The whole creative journey. You are seeing it from scratch now, from spark of inspiration to fully developed game at the end of this journey. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to continue to do this. I think we're planning for a weekly basis. We're just starting. We are rolling with it. And eventually, I think most of it will probably still be on this channel. However, sometime in the future, we may transition to a new channel for this. I don't know. I'm not going to say any more than that. That's just going to be a fun little teaser. But we may have multiple homes for these streams, and you may start to see me on more than scribthebar.twitch.tv, whatever. So a new channel, ooh, exclusive. Anyway, no more of that. Stop it, you. We're gonna go ahead and close out there. So thank you so much for everyone. To everyone for coming along and joining us for this creative adventure. Thank you, Rich, the illustrious hatchling DM, for honestly forming this idea and inviting me to be part of bringing Cryptid Creek to life. This is so exciting. I love the theme. I love the premise. Everything about it.
I need like it.
I like it. Yeah. I like just about everything you come up with.
Thanks, that's kind. So just find me at the website. If you subscribe to the website, that'd be really handy. You can follow all of our work from there. So it's www.hatchlingsgames.co.uk.
Putting it in the chat now.
You can find me on Twitter, Hatchling DM, everywhere, pretty much. And if you want any help with crowdfunding, I've got a Ko-fi, coffee.
Yeah.
For pretty reasonable price sessions, you can help your Kickstarter or whatever you're crowdfunding on, and I'll help you bring your game to funding.
Yes, I need to get my Ko-fi up and running in a functioning way. So there you go. I'm gonna work on my Ko-fi too.
Nice. Plans.
Yeah, it'll be good. Big things are coming this year, everyone. I know I kept tweeting out # Year of the Bard. I think every year is Year of the Bard, as long as we are all coming together and creating these cool things. Ooh, that sounded kind of cheesy, but I like it. I like cheese. I'm sticking to it and rolling. So thank you, everyone. It's so good to be back. I think this is the perfect stream to start the new year with, honestly. New beginnings, new creative ideas, lots of inspiration, all good things. You know where to find me. I'll be here. I'll be around. Scriv the Bard in all things. So come say hey. And I will also be having more Bard RPG content and spoilers coming up. Hopefully y'all saw these beautiful new dice that have been coming in.
Yeah.
They are lovely, lovely, lovely. And they are also interactive, I would say, when you shine a little bit of light through them. There's something poetic about that, right? Insert metaphor here, where it's dark and smoky, But then when you shine a little bit of light through the darkness, you can see the spark of inspiration within. Ooh, poems.
Perfect for the game.
All good, all good. Okay, that's all I've got.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Anything
Thanks for
else?
new people joining us as well.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful evening / day / morning, whatever time it is for you. I'll take a page out of the Rule of Lore book. Have a wonderful zone. And thank you so much once again for spending some time with us today on this creative journey. We'll see you again. In the meantime, keep adventuring, keep scribbling, and we'll catch you later. Bye everyone.